All right, so I'm going to explain to you how to start shading your pumpkin so that it's colored realistically with colored pencils. So what we don't want to do with your coloring is how we were taught in elementary school, just to kind of color and fill the space and get it over with and color in all these different directions. That's not how we're going to color. How we're going to color is the way that we showed you for your cubes, how you add light layers and you build up layers of color using small circles until it's dark and you can't see the paper through the colored pencil. So what you're going to need for your pumpkin is a highlight color, which is going to be wherever the sun is hitting your pumpkin. You're going to need an orange color to fill in the majority of your pumpkin, since pumpkins are orange. And then you're going to need a darker color like a red-orange to fill in the areas that are the furthest from the sun. Those would be called like the shadows. So what you're going to do is start with your lightest color. I'm going to start with this yellow here. It's kind of a golden yellow. And you're going to add a layer of this color all over your pumpkin using light circles. So you're not pressing hard. We're not seeing the direction of the colored pencil, which way you're coloring, but you're just filling it in lightly using light circles, adding a layer, a base layer of yellow. And notice how I'm coloring in each section individually. I'm not coloring the whole pumpkin all at once. That'll help you get a little bit more realistic shading. All right, once you have your base layer done, your yellow, which would be your highlights, which I know it's hard to see here, but there is a layer of yellow all over everything except the stem. You're going to start adding your orange. So the orange color is going to be colored everywhere except for where the highlights are. So the yellow is the highlights from where the sun is touching the pumpkin. So if my sun is right here, the highlights are going to be here and here and here and kind of here, and they'll start to fade away over in this direction. So we want to leave all of those areas plain yellow. And we're going to start adding our orange light circles around those highlights. I'm going to get a darker orange here because I don't like that color. There we go. We're going to start adding your orange around those yellow highlights. Light circles, you're still building up layers, and you're coloring one section of the pumpkin at a time. And this is a process. It's going to take you a while. It shouldn't take you 2 minutes to fill in the whole pumpkin with just one color orange. You should be going back and forth between several colors, 3 or 4, sometimes 5 colors that go into this one single pumpkin. So I'm leaving my highlights wherever the sun or my light source is going to hit the pumpkin in light colors.
Isabella Fabrizi, please come to the main office. Isabella, please come to the main office.
Light circles. We shouldn't be seeing the direction of the coloring like this. So light circles. And I'm trying to rush here, so I'm going a little faster than you're probably going to want to do. I'm going to stop at this section right here, but you would continue over until you run out of highlights, wherever we're not seeing your highlights here. So the next color we're going to go in with is the darkest part, is the darkest color, and that's going to be like a red-orange, and that's going to be what's furthest away from the sun. So in this case, it's probably going to be what's closest to the bottom of the pumpkin. And that's going to be one of our last layers. So this, you can apply a little bit more pressure with your hand to make it a little bit darker of a layer. Start to fill in the paper a little bit more, but you're still coloring in small circles so we don't see that direction, the direction of your colored pencil going back and forth like that. And you also want to keep in mind that your colored pencil should blend. You shouldn't have a line. You shouldn't have red-orange with a line to orange with a line to yellow. So if you have those lines that show you where the colors change, you got to go back in and add more layers to blend them together a little bit more. And it's okay, now that I've done this red-orange, if I want to go back in, I might need to go back in with this orange color and blend this out a little bit more. Fill it in a little bit more so that it's not so see-through, so I don't see so much paper. And that's okay. You might realize it's a little bit too dark at that red-orange spot at the bottom, and you might need to add some more orange. That's also okay. Okay, so you can see it's starting to get a lot more solid, richer color because we're blending the colors together. You might see that you want to add a little bit of the red-orange up top where it's far from the light source. Okay, and then at the end, you're going to want to go back in with your highlight and darken up that yellow highlight color a little bit. I like to go in with not white, but like a cream color to blend them all together. And your finished product will look a little something like these. So my light source is coming from over here. My light is touching this part of the pumpkin, and it looks like maybe there's a little bit of something coming on this side too. But this is where my light source is. So I have my highlights, my middle value, and then I've got my really dark red oranges. You're going to have the same thing, same type of coloring if you have gourds or any other sort of fall objects like the gourds or the squashes. You're going to use the same techniques, layering multiple colors and blending those colors together to shade your objects according to a light source. It's the same techniques, just maybe different colors.